The time is 10 a.m. and this is WKYT Midmorning. New details about the arrest of a Kentucky National Guardsman accused of making threats against police.
President Obama is meeting with law enforcement and civil rights leaders as 3 police officers in Dallas are laid to rest.
And something stinks about a protest being planned during the Democratic National Convention.
This is WKYT Midmorning.
Good morning from WKYT News. Welcome in. It's good to have you here on this Wednesday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. You can feel the heat out there. It feels like July.
It does. We had all those showers yesterday. I don't think we get so many of those today. In fact, mostly clear days for many. Let's check in with Micah right now.
Yeah, and that's going to be the case. Much smaller opportunity of rain today. However, still can't rule it out. Still can't rule out a couple of rumbles of thunder, especially if you go from that I-64 corridor and northbound. That is your best bet to actually see a couple of rumbles of thunder. Other than that, it looks like we're going to get in through the day at 89 degrees. It's going to be pretty steamy. The focus of the forecast is mainly tomorrow and off into your Friday. Tomorrow and Friday is more widespread chances of rain. So today, yeah, a couple of rumbles are possible, but tomorrow looks like we'll have at least a widespread chance of rain there on Thursday and Friday. We'll talk about that. I'll show you your weekend forecast, what it looks like now coming up.
All right, thank you, Micah. This morning here at WKYT News, we have confirmed that a member of the Kentucky Air National Guard is accused of making a threat against police officers.
Lieutenant Colonel John Ward was arrested over the weekend in Bryson City, North Carolina. Police there say Ward, along with his 2 nephews, Houston and Samuel Ward, were outside a bar when one of them was heard yelling, quote, "Let's kill us a cop." Police say the 3 men then ran toward the police department before being arrested. All 3 have bonded out of jail.
The Kentucky National Guard says Lieutenant Colonel John Ward is a C-130 Hercules pilot and that he has been a drill status guardsman with the unit since 2004. Ward's commander says details of his arrest are still being reviewed. Police in Bryson City say none of the men had a weapon on them when they were arrested.
Part of New Circle Road is back open this morning after a crash that caused a huge impact on the morning commute. It happened around 7 o'clock this morning on New Circle near Alumni. A truck and car crashed, knocking the truck onto its side. No one was seriously hurt, but New Circle was a mess for more than an hour while police worked to clean up the scene. A Lexington woman is accused of leaving an infant alone in a car. A witness called police after finding the child wrapped in a blanket and 2 sleepers alone in a car outside Save-A-Lot in the Eastland Shopping Center. She was sweating when the witness pulled her out. Police say that car belonged to Bessie Barton. She told police she gave her friend a ride earlier in the day and that she didn't know her friend's infant was left in the car. Barton is charged with wanton endangerment.
Lexington police say a prostitution sting has led to a woman being charged with human trafficking. Vanessa Gordon was arrested on Elkhorn Drive. The victim told police that Gordon arranged her meetups and would drive her to meet the clients. When police arrested Gordon, they say she had the victim's ID, Social Security card, and more than $1,500. A Lexington woman hit by an SUV during a burglary is now sharing her story with us.
Someone broke into Chessie and Brian Spangler's home on Sandersville Road Saturday morning. The Spanglers rushed outside and stopped one of the burglars from stealing their car. Brian held one of the men at gunpoint, but moments later, a second suspect drove an SUV right at them, hitting Chessie. She remembers neighbors rushing to help.
And I think I even asked her, "Am I going to die?" And she said, "No, baby, you're not going to die. You're going to be just fine."
Chessie suffered 3 fractured vertebrae and a cut on her head. Police say the SUV used to hit her was stolen, and the 2 suspects are still on the run.
Richmond police have arrested a man accused of lying to them about an accidental shooting. Police say Sam Lambert was with a woman on Friday when she was shot. Police told the Richmond Register that Lambert first told police that someone else shot her while they were on 4th Street. That victim drove to the Kroger gas station where she asked for help. Police say Lambert later admitted that he was playing with a revolver when he accidentally shot the victim, who had non-life-threatening injuries. A recent appointee to the University of Louisville's Board of Trustees has declined the position. Governor Matt Bevin has appointed someone to replace Doug Cobb. He wrote a letter to Bevin saying that he had to decline the appointment after careful consideration. Cobb's Twitter account became under scrutiny after his appointment to the board. Funeral services began today in Texas for the Dallas police officers who were killed in the line of duty last week.
Yesterday, President Obama was among those who eulogized the men at an interfaith memorial service. Don Champion has the latest from Dallas.
As funerals for 3 of the 5 Dallas officers ambushed begin today, President Obama will meet with law enforcement and civil rights leaders to discuss ways to repair the bonds of trust. Tuesday, during a public memorial service, the president applauded the fallen officers for their bravery and sacrifice.
These men and their families shared a commitment to something larger than themselves.
The president then addressed fears gripping a nation caught in a bitter debate over policing after the killings of 2 black men. He made a plea for common ground.
Surely we should be able to hear the pain of Alton Sterling's family, just as we should hear the students and co-workers describe their affection for Philando Castile.
People without tickets to the Interfaith Memorial Service gathered around Dallas in a show of solidarity.
Over the last couple of days, I felt that the community has grown much stronger.
We have a lot of work to do, but it's not impossible.
Former President George W. Bush had a message for the officers' families.
Your loss is unfair. We cannot explain it. We can stand beside you and share your grief.
This moving image from the memorial service shows the daughter of one of the slain officers giving a bracelet to another, a symbol of their father's ultimate sacrifice. Don Champion, CBS News, Dallas.
Officers Lauren Aarons, Michael Smith, and DART officer Brent Thompson will be laid to rest today.
Donald Trump is close to picking a running mate, and he has directed his staff to prepare for a Friday announcement on that. The finalists are former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, Indiana Governor Mike Pence, and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who was a one-time rival who became one of Trump's most trusted advisors here lately. All right, here's a story that smells funny. Backers of Bernie Sanders say they plan to go ahead with what they're calling a fart-in at the Democratic National Convention. The plan is for organizers to load up on beans before the convention in Philadelphia later this month, and to let presumptive Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton smell what they think of her. One protester told The Hill that the fart-in is to raise attention about things that really stink in our society right now.
Well, and everybody sitting in your section or close to you would smell this as well. Ew. Who came up with something like that?
Well, I don't know. This election year, huh? All right.
We think we've seen everything, but I'm sure there are surprises ahead.
No doubt. All right, and then on the other side of the pond, from Brexit to exit, British Prime Minister David Cameron has received a standing ovation on his last day in Parliament today.
Members of the House of Commons thanked him for his 6 years of service as a Conservative leader. Cameron announced his resignation after the majority of British voters said they wanted to leave the European Union. Once he formally resigns during a meeting with Queen Elizabeth later today, Home Secretary Theresa May will become the new Prime Minister. I think the Queen has to formally ask her first. Right. Well, if you're near Lexington's Jacobson Park today, disregard the sirens. Lexington Emergency Management says it will be testing the warning sirens. The testing is scheduled to go on throughout the day. Well, a Central Kentucky staple is celebrating a huge milestone today. Ale81 is turning 90.
Yeah, a good Kentucky company. Today, the Winchester-based company is hosting an ice cream social for its employees. The gift shop is also selling limited edition posters featuring a timeline of the classic Ale8 bottle. Ale81 is the only soft drink invented in Kentucky that's still in existence today.
It's kind of a neat view of all the different bottles
really is.
there.
Congratulations
Happy birthday, Ale81.
Remember the old pour on the fun jingles,
Oh, yeah,
right?
and a late one.
Exactly.
There you
Yeah,
go.
There you go. Well, speaking of traditions, the Bluegrass Fair is kicking off in Lexington this week.
The rides are already set up and were being inspected yesterday. Most of the rides have already been used this year at other fairs around the state. The Bluegrass Fair at Masterson Station Park starts tomorrow and runs through July 24th.
All right, inspecting those rides there and getting ready to go.
Make sure it's a safe run
Yeah.
for everybody. Well, keep it right here. A toddler is going viral for having the eye of the tiger. A look at his impressive moves after the break.
And we're looking across our region. There's not much going on right now. And today, smaller chances of rain than yesterday. However, we still need to watch out because there's a system to the northwest of us that could throw us a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you that and then the increased rain chance the next couple of days coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, looking across the area, there's not much going on. You got to look deep into the west and actually see a storm system heading our direction. You won't really feel the brunt of it today. However, there still is that opportunity to pick up on some rain today for some zones. As you look back toward the west, that first piece of energy you see there in Illinois, that'll throw off a couple of rumbles of thunder across our region later on. There isn't a great chance of rain. It's a much smaller opportunity than yesterday. But like I said, you still can't rule out a couple of rumbles of thunder, especially across the highlighted region that I have here. Central, northern zones, that's going to be the best bet to actually see maybe a couple of rumbles. And even with that, even if since there's a smaller chance, it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be as strong because there's still a potential for some strong storms for that area. So you just got to watch out. Mainly central zones, including Lexington, northbound. It's about a 40% chance of rain. Definitely no washout. Just got to be watching out for that. But definitely smaller chances. So there's some good news. Next couple of days look pretty wet. The good news here is Thursday and Friday, that front pushes on through, gives us some rain, and heavy rain is going to be our main issue. Off towards your weekend, definitely no washout, but a few storms are possible there for the weekend still at this moment. Mid-80s, upper 80s there on Sunday. So it doesn't look like a bad weekend. It doesn't look like a great weekend, though. Let's talk about your 7-day and what you can expect. 40% chance today. Remember, most of us stay dry, but we cannot rule out couple of rumbles of thunder, central and northern zones. That's your best bet. Thursday and Friday, much better opportunity to see that rain move on in as that front gets closer to us. And that'll push on that rain through Friday night. Now, I will say Friday evening looks much drier than, say, Friday afternoon. But Saturday and Sunday, it's still one of those things we're going to have to watch very closely. Still 3 to 4 days out. Does this front push all the way through? We've talked about that the past couple of days. As of right now, I don't expect it to push all the way through for both of those days, but mostly through, which means no widespread rain, no washout. There's some good news for us. The bad news is still a rain chance.
Yeah, well, okay. We'll probably be able to deal with that.
It is what it is.
And it will be the weekend. All right, this is a cute thing you have to see here. A diaper-clad toddler becoming a viral star for mimicking Rocky Balboa's iconic training moves.
Now, he's not allowed to watch the fight scenes yet, but the hilarious video shows little Charlie in sync with Stallone, step for step, as he trains in Rocky II. The video is already popular online and was being retweeted by Stallone himself. It's already been retweeted by him. With enough training, the toddler will soon be ready to defeat Apollo Creed, Mr. T, or in the case of Rocky IV, single-handedly ending the Cold War.
Well, he's all the moves
Oh my
down pat,
gosh.
huh? All right.
How darling is that?
It's cute.
Yeah,
No
that's
wonder
really cute.
Yeah, so many people are looking it up around the world.
Well, Quentin Tarantino is counting down a career, and the stars of the new Ghostbusters take over New York.
And Chris Martinez now has your eye on entertainment.
The stars of the new Ghostbusters film were at New York's Empire State Building Tuesday. Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones joined director Paul Feig at the Landmark ahead of the film's big opening. The film is a reboot of the 1984 comedy classic, which McCarthy saw as a teenager.
I just remember being completely bewildered by the mix of comedy and action and how it looked in those four characters. There's something about the unlikely heroes.
The new film features cameos by surviving members of the original. Look for them when Ghostbusters opens nationwide on Friday. Emma Roberts and Dave Franco were also in New York for last night's premiere of their new film, Nerve.
Okay, speed up.
Yes, ma'am. Roberts stars as a high school senior who steps out of her shell to play an online game about dares and soon finds herself caught up in something much larger.
When you're anonymous on the internet, you can say whatever you want, and this movie definitely kind of shows the different sides of that, the good and the bad.
Nerve opens nationwide on July 27th. And someday moviegoers won't have Quentin Tarantino to kick around anymore. The two-time Oscar winner says he'll make just 2 more films before calling it quits as a director. Tarantino's work includes Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, and Reservoir Dogs. And that's your Eye on Entertainment. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Coming up, how does this sound to you? Bike ride and a pancake breakfast. It could start your Saturday off right this weekend.
We'll tell you all about it next on WKYT.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot, $311 million. And Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million. Welcome back in. It's mid-morning here on WKYT. How does this sound for a Saturday morning? A family bike ride followed by a pancake breakfast.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Mike Ward, pastor of Walnut Hill Church, is here to tell us more about the Walnut Hill bike ride. And we do welcome you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for the invitation.
Sounds like there's going to be a ride for any level, whether you're a beginner or somebody who's really serious about getting out there and doing some miles on the bike.
Absolutely, Bill. There'll be 15, 30, and 40-mile rides for the seasoned, experienced cyclists, but for those of us who aren't so experienced or not ready for the open road, we have a 3-mile fun ride on Walnut Hill Road that will be closed for the occasion, closed to traffic to make it safer and just a little less intimidating for folks.
What a beautiful area out there. Tell us about the historic nature of the church.
Yeah, Walnut Hill was originally founded in 1785.
Wow.
The building, the sanctuary, was built in 1801. It closed in the mid-20th century, was closed for about 30 years, and then a group of neighbors rehabbed the place, reopened the building, and the congregation came to life again.
So, I mean, it was there before Kentucky was a state.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Well, and actually goes back to Mary Todd Lincoln's grandfather, is that right?
Levi Todd donated the property that the church and the cemetery and sit on. Yes.
Well, people can appreciate that as they enjoy the nice ride this weekend.
Absolutely right.
Tell us about who benefits financially from this, from the ride.
Wonderful, thank you. The bike ride is actually a collaboration of 3 partners. Bluegrass Cycling Club manages the rides, the church hosts, and the beneficiary of any donations that are given go to Kentucky Refugee Ministries that works to resettle refugee families coming into Lexington. And the gifts that we receive on Saturday will be used by the cycling club to purchase bicycles for refugee families, which they use as a basic form of transportation when they get to town.
So it's really not recreation. This is something they really need.
Yeah, the bicycles that are provided for these families are commuter bicycles. They are intended for going to work, going to the store, certainly can be used for fun as well, but they are heavy-duty, hard-use bicycles.
And right after the bike ride, in fact, during the rides, I'm sure, the pancakes will be served up?
We'll have a whole buffet of brunch-type foods and pancakes, and the whole event is free, but donations are welcome.
That's wonderful.
8 until 1 this Saturday there at Walnut Hill Church, and free admission if you want to come and take part or just enjoy the day there.
Come out and enjoy the place. We welcome.
Easy to enjoy, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Good luck with it.
Thank you all.
We'll keep it right here on Mid-Morning.
Going to check in with the Mr. Food Test Kitchen next and see what they're making up here on this Wednesday.
We are glad you're with us. Today's recipe is great for feeding folks with hearty appetites.
Today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, Campers Country Ribs.
As you can see, today and through the rest of the week, we'll be out of the kitchen enjoying the great outdoors. And it seems like every time I go camping, I ask myself, why don't they do this more often? To me, the best parts of camping are having a chance to reconnect to nature, sitting around a campfire, and of course, eating. And just because we're roughing it doesn't mean we shouldn't eat well. So let me share with you how easy these sticky country ribs are to throw together. We start with some country-style ribs that are seasoned with some salt and pepper. You see, they're a lot meatier than traditional ribs and cook up more like a pork chop. Now, while those cook, we mix together some barbecue sauce, sweet and sour sauce, and a bit of hot sauce. After our ribs cook for a few minutes on each side, we slather them with our tangy sauce. When these come off the grill and we serve them with some corn on the cob, get ready for some good eating. And just because they're great for camping, don't think for a minute that you can't make them at home. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our Campers Country Ribs. Let me tell you, this is a far cry from what I ate when I was a kid camping. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, looking for more back to nature ways for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right.
Absolutely. If you're trying to do that the next couple of days, I would say today is probably your best bet to maybe grill out, knock out outdoor plans. You will still have a chance of rain. It's definitely not as great of a chance as what you saw yesterday. So it's a much smaller opportunity, but we are looking at those chances of rain, especially central northern zones. That's where you could have a couple of rumbles of thunder. Most of us stay dry today, though. Thursday, Friday, those are your better opportunities as the front swings on through. And guys, Saturday and Sunday, still low confidence, but as of right now, I'd lean more toward us being mainly dry as opposed to wet. Okay?
Let's hope it stays that way instead of swinging the other direction.
All right, you keep leaning, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us for WKYT Mid-Morning. We'll have an update on the weather forecast and all the latest news at noon.
We hope you'll be here to get all of that information at noon. Have a good day.